Life doesn't get better by chance, it gets better by change. You don't rise to the level of your potential, you fall to the level of your training, your habits, your self-development. The moment you stop growing, you start dying inside. That's why the key to living an extraordinary life is simple but powerful. Develop yourself constantly. Growth isn't an event, it's a lifestyle. It's the decision to become more so you can give more, achieve more, and experience more. Growth begins the moment you decide to stop living on autopilot. Most people are stuck in the same cycle. Waking up, doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, reacting the same way, and then wondering why their life looks exactly the same year after year. They're not bad people, they're just unaware. They don't realize that awareness is the birthplace of transformation. You can't change what you don't see. And until you start paying attention to how you think, act, and respond, you'll keep repeating the same patterns that hold you back. Becoming aware of yourself is like waking up in a room you didn't realize was dark. Suddenly, you see the mess you've been stepping over, the opportunities you've been missing, the possibilities you couldn't recognize before. It's uncomfortable at first because awareness forces you to face truths you've been avoiding. You begin to notice your fears, your excuses, your limiting beliefs, the quiet voice in your head that whispers you're not enough or that it's too late. But here's the truth, those thoughts aren't reality. They're habits of the mind. And when you see them for what they are, you gain the power to change them. Self-awareness is the foundation of all growth because it gives you control over your internal world. The moment you catch yourself reacting instead of responding, complaining instead of creating, hesitating instead of acting, that's when you take back your power. Awareness turns you from a victim of life into a creator of it. You stop waiting for the world to change and start realizing the world changes when you do. That shift alone can transform everything. The process begins with asking better questions. Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what can I learn from this? Or how can I grow through this? Every challenge carries a lesson, but only those who are aware can extract it. Life isn't punishing you, it's preparing you. Every difficult moment is an invitation to evolve, to sharpen your awareness, to strengthen your emotional muscles. When you understand that nothing feels wasted, even pain becomes purposeful. But awareness also demands honesty, the kind that can sting a little. It's easy to lie to ourselves, to pretend everything is fine, to make excuses for why we're not where we want to be. I don't have time. It's just not meant to be. I'll start later. These are the words that kill potential. Growth begins when you stop defending your limitations and start confronting them. You can't heal what you keep hiding. You can't grow while holding onto your old identity. The version of you that got you here cannot take you where you want to go. You have to be willing to let go of the old story. The story of not being enough. The story of waiting for perfect timing. The story of blaming the past. And step into a new one where you take full ownership of your life. Self-awareness gives you clarity, and clarity creates direction. Once you know who you are and where you stand, you can decide who you want to become. You begin to act with purpose instead of drifting aimlessly. The fog lifts and the path forward begins to reveal itself, one decision at a time. And every time you make a decision that aligns with your higher self, your confidence grows. You start to feel different. You begin to trust yourself again. That's what true development feels like. It's not loud or flashy, it's quiet. Consistent progress born from awareness and truth. Awareness is also about noticing the moments when you disconnect from your best self. Maybe you lose your temper, doubt your abilities, procrastinate, or give in to fear. Instead of beating yourself up, you use awareness to course correct. You ask, what triggered that? And how can I respond differently next time? Each time you catch yourself, you grow. You're training your mind to be awake, conscious, intentional. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, you stop reacting out of habit and start living out of choice. Think of awareness as the compass of your personal evolution. Without it, you can run fast, but in the wrong direction. With it, every step you take moves you closer to your true potential. You stop chasing external validation and start focusing on internal alignment. You realize success isn't about having more, it's about becoming more. And the only way to become more is to first see where you are and who you've been. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't just rush into your routine. Pause. Observe your thoughts. Notice your emotions. Ask yourself what kind of energy you're bringing into the day. Because awareness isn't something you practice once. It's something you live by. It's the daily decision to be awake, to be intentional, to be fully present. And when you do that, growth becomes inevitable. You stop surviving and start evolving. You start leading your life instead of following it. And that's when you truly begin to develop yourself, not by accident, but by conscious design. Commitment to self growth is not a momentary decision, it's a lifelong promise. It's easy to talk about improvement when things feel exciting and new, but true development happens when the motivation fades and you choose to keep going anyway. Growth is not a straight line, it's messy, uncomfortable, and filled with moments that test your patience and resilience. But that's where the magic happens. The uncomfortable moments are where character is built. You can't evolve by staying comfortable, because comfort is the enemy of progress. The very resistance you feel is not there to stop you. It's there to strengthen you. Most people give up because they expect growth to be easy. They start something new, a skill, a goal, a dream, and when it doesn't happen fast enough, they quit. But nothing worth having ever comes instantly. Growth takes time, and time requires faith. You have to trust the process even when you can't see results yet. Think about it like planting a seed. You don't dig it up every day to check. If it's growing, you water it, nurture it, and let time do its work. The same goes for personal development. The results might not show up immediately, but if you stay consistent, they always come. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. Anyone can set goals, but few have the discipline to follow through when it gets hard. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's reading that chapter, doing that workout, learning that skill, having that uncomfortable conversation, because you know that every small action compounds into massive results over time. Every time you show up despite resistance, you strengthen your mind. You're teaching yourself that your emotions don't control your destiny. You do. Growth also demands sacrifice. You cannot hold on to your old habits and expect a new life. You have to let go of the things that no longer serve you, the distractions, the excuses, the toxic environments, and sometimes even the people who keep you small. Every version of your future self is waiting on the other side of a decision you've been avoiding. You can't keep choosing comfort and expect transformation. If you want to rise, you have to give up what weighs you down. That's the cost of evolution. And once you pay that price, freedom follows. When you commit to growth, you must also commit to patience. The journey is not about speed, it's about endurance. There will be days when you feel stuck, unmotivated, or uncertain. Those are the days that matter most. Because when you keep going in those moments, you prove to yourself that your commitment is real. Success doesn't happen when it's easy. It's forged in the moments you could have quit, but didn't. Those moments become your foundation. They build mental toughness, the ability to keep pushing forward when others give up. Another important part of growth is humility. The moment you think you know it all is the moment you stop growing. Life will always find ways to humble you and remind you that there's more to learn, more to master, more to refine. Every person you meet, every failure you experience, every challenge you face carries a lesson. But you have to be open enough to receive it. The most successful people aren't those who never fail. They're the ones who keep learning no matter what. They see setbacks not as signs to stop, but as stepping stones towards something greater. You also have to understand that growth doesn't happen in isolation. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, who stretch your thinking, who push you to rise higher. Energy is contagious. And when you're around people who are growing, you can't help but grow too. But you must also protect your energy from negativity, from people who drain your focus or feed your doubts. The environment you choose either fuels your growth or suffocates it. Be intentional about who and what you allow into your space. And most importantly, never underestimate the power of small steps. Massive change doesn't come from doing one big thing once. It comes from doing small things consistently. Every day you show up for yourself, you're building momentum. You're stacking victories even if they seem insignificant in the moment. Over time, those small actions compound into transformation. You might not notice it day to day, but one day you'll look back and realize how far you've come. That's the reward of consistency. It turns ordinary effort into extraordinary growth. So keep showing up, keep learning, keep stretching yourself beyond what's comfortable, because the version of you that you're becoming is worth every ounce of effort. Growth doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choice. Your choice to stay committed even when it's hard, your choice to believe in your potential when results are invisible, and your choice to keep pushing forward no matter how long it takes. That's how transformation happens. Not through perfection, but through relentless persistence. The moment you make that commitment and refuse to back down, life starts to bend in your favor. That's when growth becomes unstoppable. The highest level of growth is when your development is beyond yourself. It's when all the lessons you've learned, all the pain you've endured, all the challenges you've overcome become fuel to lift others higher. Because real fulfillment doesn't come from just achieving more. It comes from contributing more. You can have all the success in the world, but if it doesn't touch others, it will eventually feel empty. True growth transforms you from someone who's chasing meaning to someone who creates it. When you grow so you can serve, your life gains a deeper purpose that no material success can ever replace. Every person who chooses to grow is unknowingly creating a ripple effect. When you rise, you give others permission to rise too. Your strength inspires others to find theirs. Your discipline shows what's possible. Your resilience gives people hope. You might not even realize the impact you have just by being an example of progress. But it's there. Every time you refuse to settle, every time you push past your fear, every time you choose growth over comfort, you're not only changing your own life, you're influencing the lives of those who are silently watching. Contribution isn't always about grand gestures. It's in the small moments where you choose to give a kind word, share your experience, or help someone who's struggling in a way you once struggled. The lessons that broke you open are the same ones that can heal someone else. Life has a way of teaching us what we later need to teach others. That's why no pain is ever wasted. The hardships you've faced have shaped you into someone capable of guiding others through theirs. And that is one of the greatest gifts of growth. You become a light for others walking in the dark. Developing yourself constantly gives you something even more powerful than achievement. It gives you the ability to contribute from overflow, not emptiness. When you fill yourself with growth, wisdom, and purpose, you no longer need to take from others to feel whole. You begin to give naturally, effortlessly. Your energy uplifts, your words empower, your actions inspire. You become a force that multiplies good in the world. That's what real success looks like. It's not what you get, it's what you give back because of who you've become. And contribution doesn't only serve others, it amplifies your own growth. The more you give, the more you expand. The more you help others overcome their limits, the more aware you become of your own. It's an endless cycle of learning and giving. When you use your growth to create change, you stop living for yourself and start living for something larger than you. You feel a sense of fulfillment that success alone can't deliver. Because deep down, every human being wants to feel that their life mattered, that they made a difference. That's the essence of development: to grow, to give, to keep growing through giving. Sometimes we think we need to have it all figured out before we can help others. But that's not true. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be genuine. Share what you know, even if it's small. Encourage others who are where you once were. Be the reminder that change is possible. You don't need to change the entire world, you just need to change one person's world. Because when that person grows, they pass it on, and the chain continues. That's how revolutions of growth begin, not through massive movements, but through individual lives committed to becoming and giving more. Contribution also brings perspective. When you focus on helping others, you rise above your own struggles. You realize that your challenges aren't burdens, they're training grounds. They prepare you to lead, to guide, to serve. What once hurt you becomes your strength, your wisdom, your message. Every scar becomes a story of triumph. Every failure becomes a lesson of faith. When you see your journey this way, you stop resenting your past and start appreciating it for what it gave you the ability to make a difference. So as you continue to develop yourself, don't let it stop with you. Let your growth flow into others. Lift someone, teach someone, inspire someone. Every time you share your light, it doesn't get smaller, it multiplies. The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs people who are growing, learning, and willing to help others do the same. That's how real change happens, from the inside out, one person at a time. When you live this way, you begin to realize that constant self-development isn't just about reaching goals. It's about expanding your capacity to give, to love, to lead, and to make an impact. You stop asking, what can I get from life? And start asking, what can I give to it? That's where ultimate fulfillment lies. Because in the end, your legacy won't be measured by what you achieved, but by who you became and how many lives you touched along the way.